Are you offbeat with the clap?
I've got terrible
Jesus
rhythm.
Christ.
It's fine. You'll be able to edit with us on it.
I'll work on it.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Liability Library. You might see that there's a new guest on the panel today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, I'm Ross. I'm in a course with these lovely people. Lovely, used loosely, of course. Just like my favorite genres are basically, I'm not gonna lie, all I exclusively read is like MLM romances. Not just smart, mainly smart.
No judgment here.
No judgment. This is a safe space. My favorite book is Red, White and Royal Blue, which isn't smarty.
It's a young adults, is it not? So
Yeah, YA romance by Casey McQuiston. I love that. My current reads, however, that I just started after finishing this one, is actually Tales of the Slayer Volume 1, which is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is my favourite TV show.
Very
kind
cool.
of, which is very not MLM smutty romance, so it's new for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well,
Very cool.
we are very happy to have you here today.
Glad to be
It
here.
was actually not just you, but you were the main person who wanted us to read this book for the podcast. So we are going to let you read the blurb of the play to get us into
The
heated
play.
rivalry.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Let's see.
my
Let's see the
goodness, so much
blocking.
money.
Play.
Of the book
We're
to
shaming
get us
Ilya.
into-
We just reenact
to
it.
get us into heated rivalry.
Brilliant. So, nothing interferes with pro hockey star Shane Hollander's game. Now that he's the captain of the Montreal Voyageurs, he won't let anything jeopardize that. Definitely not the sexy rival he loves to hate. Boston Bears captain Ilya Rozanov is everything Shane's not. The self-proclaimed king of the ice, he's as cocky as he is talented. No one can beat him, except Shane. Publicly, they're enemies. Privately, they can't stop touching each other. The smart thing to do? Walk away once a few secret hookups turn into a struggle to keep their relationship out of the press. The truth could ruin them both. But for Shane and Ilya, secrecy is soon no longer an option.
I feel like you
I'm
need to
gonna
like do a little wink to the camera after all that.
I'm just going to put that there.
Very professional.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So,
Who wants to start us off?
I feel like the expert has to start.
The
off more.
expert.
The expert on here.
Expert.
You
Right.
seem well
We've
read.
brought on a professional.
Oh, wait.
Watched the
hang
TV.
on.
Have you
Hold
watched?
my-
You've
hold my-
watched the TV show, haven't you?
I was gonna say, have we seen this?
The expert on subject.
That's so good.
We have merch.
Yeah.
Not us, Mark.
No, not us merch.
No.
We have people wearing merch.
Yeah. Love it.
So yeah, well, I don't know where to start. This isn't my job. So yeah, I've watched the show.
I love this
Right.
book.
Well, to start off, what is your overall kind of view? Thank you. View of the book. Like, did you enjoy it? Was there any parts of it that weren't good or could have been better, or you would have changed?
I think it was interesting to me because I don't think there was any part that I didn't enjoy. And I say this as a fan of like this kind of series. But starting off on a very controversial opinion, I'm not going to get asked back. I think this may potentially be one of the very rare occasions that I think the screen adaptation is better than the original source
I've
material.
not
Valid.
seen it yet, but I think I agree with you from
Yeah.
what the audience of the screen say. And then when I've read the book, I'm going, this is not the same. This is. I know.
I do
this
think it's a
isn't.
very true adaptation. Like, I don't think there's anything glaringly like this doesn't even feel like the same thing.
Yeah.
I just think the way certain scenes happen are just done better in the show, maybe.
You're allowed to
Is-
say
yeah.
that.
I get that.
I think that's actually a very not. I wouldn't say it's controversial at all. I think that's actually like a little gold penny you've then found
Yeah.
where a show's better than the books. I think it takes a lot to find something like that. Most series you will say, "Oh, the books are better,"
Mhm.
and then a series, if they've managed to expand the universe and make it more detailed, make a character more likable from their actions, even if they still do an action wrong, they're like, yeah, I think it's quite brilliant when they're able to finally make a good adaptation of something that normally wouldn't be as good as it normally is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think visual storytelling is really important these days, and I think having a story, for example, like a fantasy story, you can use your imagination when reading it to create these worlds that you haven't seen depicted in real life. Whereas if you're reading something like this that has a focus on a sport and a specific way of playing that sport, picturing that in your head while reading it can be a bit difficult. Whereas if you're seeing like a visual stimulus of it being played, you can feel the intensity of the moment. That also applies to other scenes in the book.
Yeah, I think what I quite enjoy about reading a book, like after I've seen like the film or the TV show adaptation, is like how similar is it to the book, and like also when you read a book that's not had a film or TV adaptation, it's like you need to picture it, like you have to physically imagine what everything looks like, all the little details that the film people do. And then what I quite enjoy sometimes about reading the book is you don't actually have to do that work. And sometimes when you're, especially like fantasy or something, when you're reading a bit that you're like, I don't know what that would look like, and you've got the reference point of the movie to go, oh, like this is where this is in the movie, and oh yeah, that I totally get what that is, because there's sometimes you can't imagine some things, like you're limited in what you can imagine sometimes, and having someone else's imagination kind of influence what you were thinking. I'm like, oh, that's actually so smart. I would never have thought of it like that. Like that's really good. I also quite like when you see films or TV adaptations that it's just so different, and you're screaming at the TV like, no, that's not in the book.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Like I remember I read years ago, what is it? It got turned into a TV show. I'll need to find it. But it was like a TV show, but it was like a young crime TV show, and they turned it. It was a book first, turned it into a TV show, and
like We Were Liars or something.
Yeah, I think was it that
was
one?
that? Or is that
it's like the red one.
One of Us is Lying.
Yes.
We Were Liars is like a different thing.
Yeah, One of Us is Lying, and it got turned into a TV show, and I remember being so excited for the TV show because I really, really did enjoy the book, and it was so disappointing. It just was nothing like the book. The characters were bland compared to the book. Just the way I imagined them, because they were supposed to be like your typical teenagers, like the jock and the cheerleader and that, and he just wasn't what I pictured. The casting just wasn't what I pictured. Not that they were bad actors, but visually just wasn't what I was picturing. And then there was bits that were like not in the book that were in the show, or there was things that were in the show that just wasn't in the book. And then there were, because it was like there's multiple books in that series, they had taken stuff from the second book, which is not about the same people, and put it in that book, and I was like, whoa.
What are we doing here?
What is going on? So obviously, yes, it can be controversial of like, oh, the book's always better than the movie. But like Ella said, if you find that one that actually the TV show's better, then I think that's still a really good one.
It's different, like, because obviously you have the intensity of this. You know, it's a heated rivalry, but you have the chapter format. Whereas like storytelling, it unwinds in front of you. You don't have to make the conscious decision to continue reading. It's unwinding in front of you. It's more leisurely, but like, I don't know, there's something about it where it's like horror writing. I don't get scared by the book, but I get scared by the visual element of it.
Yeah.
The intensity's there with the visual element. So I enjoyed the book. I thought it was very well written. And I was interested in the characters and the dynamics and the relationships, but flipping it to the television adaptation, I was on the edge of my seat a lot more.
Yeah, I think as well, what, don't know if it's going to piss off any gay people who watch this, or any like specifically young women. I think young women is a very big fan base of this. The show had a lot more scenes that just showed the development of the relationship, whereas the books, to me, this is like my genre.
About to say.
It is. All they're doing is having sex.
Yeah.
For times, there's never
Rachel had
any
a lot
of
of
the
pent-up frustrations.
interesting.
One chapter,
and I'll get into that later. Like
no, there's one chapter that infuriated me because I was going, there's no actual connection right now. Shane literally goes, I think I want to try, like, actually see if I'm gay or not. Like, I have a feeling I'm gay. So currently, obviously, I've only been doing it with Ilya, I could go with another guy, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
risking this. I could try this and this is. So I have no other. I guess I have to just stick with him because he's sick. I was like, stick with him because he's sick. No, you meant like what? This is a romance.
It's
But
very
then, like,
complex.
later as well, like a couple of chapters later, they do mention that Shane at other times throughout those years
Yeah.
had got him with like
I was
two
going,
other
wait,
guys.
when?
Yeah.
When?
And it's kind of like, okay, but it was because one was like in Mexico, so I
Yeah.
guess he wasn't as known there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the other one, I think he said, was just at like a club.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like,
Risky.
oh, okay, word. Sure, Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's scenes that aren't in the book that were added to the show that I just think are so important for character development. Like, for example, you see scenes of Ilya in Russia. Like,
Interesting.
after his like dad passes, you see all those family dynamics like properly, whereas they're just kind of like. I was actually really shocked that the funeral of like his dad was like not featured at all. It was just mentioned that he goes back to Russia and then he comes.
Is that
and
in the show?
yeah, you see like the funeral, you see it, and it's like a whole thing. And I was like, they're very important. Like, I don't want this to turn into like a
Comparison.
oh my god, the show,
yeah.
and the show did this, the show did that.
But it's a fair
But-
comparison, especially because of how popular it is right now. A
Yeah,
lot of people will be introduced by the show, so.
I think it's important to have your own opinion on things like this. It's such a big thing now. Everyone's loving it. You know, everyone's saying Heated Rivalry and it's so great and it's this and it's that. But I think it's so important not to get wrapped up in the kind of mob mentality of like, oh, we have to like this. We
That's
have to
fair.
like
Yeah.
this. Like, you're allowed to not like something. You're allowed to have a different opinion on it. You're allowed to, you know, be like, oh, well,
I
this
still
is
love it. I don't know what there's two cameras. I don't know which one's. I still love it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna deliver it to both. I love it. I still love it.
Yeah, it was
I-
great.
personally, I did enjoy the book in the end. I did. But one thing that really pissed me off was the fact it's called Heated Rivalry, right? It's supposed to be an enemy to lovers. It's supposed that's what it's marketed as, especially with the title. It's marketed as an enemies to lovers, and we've all read a proper good enemies to lovers. You know, we have.
Yeah.
And this just wasn't it. This just it was people who were told that they had to not like each
Yeah.
other. It was people that were on rival teams of, oh, I'm not supposed to like this person because they're in the other team. But they did like each other. Like, they were like, oh, but you hate him. And he's like, yeah, no, he never hated
Yeah, they
him.
were kind of
It
being
wasn't
told.
enemies to lovers. It was two people in rival teams who weren't supposed to like each other, who liked each other. And I think it was just, I was annoyed about reading it because I went in with the idea
Expectation.
of this is an enemies to lovers, and then I
Yeah.
was sorely disappointed with it. It's
ve-
not.
Yeah, it's like
Is it?
because even rivals to lovers, I think, is a bit strong.
Mm.
But then as well, like I also feel like it's so straight. Maybe because maybe I'm gonna say like I don't feel understand this because I'm not a sports fan.
Mm.
But at least I get the impression, one of the things that scares them most about being found out is that people will be mad not because they're gay, but because they're with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are so like, you guys are mortal enemies, you should want to murder each other, and that's the shocking and
Yeah.
obviously being gay shouldn't be shocking, but like, and to me I was like, I don't know, it just felt
Yeah.
not
But
relatable.
That's
but,
the kind of marketing strategy wise it's done poorly, because like you said, it's not enemies, it's a forbidden romance.
yeah,
It is an
yeah.
LGBT forbidden romance, and that's what makes it beautiful, because not only is a huge thing, lots of people don't accept LGBT community people, like that's especially in the sports.
Yeah,
That's one part of the forbidden aspect, that they are really self-conscious about becoming, like, outing themselves as gay. That's
It is such
a
a
really-
male-dominated sort of area
Mhm.
in the world.
and it's it's
yeah.
lovely kind of mentioned. I would have liked it, an expansion more on that kind of aspect near the end, about them planning to try and like
Yeah.
be together forever, but they're forbidden from being together because they're marketed as rivals.
Yeah.
So I would have marketed this whole book more as a forbidden romance instead of a heated rivalry,
Mm.
because they're not rivals realistically. Like, they're gay, they're sport
and
rivals.
sometimes they
Yeah,
like
it's-
play
yeah.
together as well, and
Yeah.
like,
Like, I just think, like, people realistically don't think of like football teams or things like that in real life. People don't go, oh, they actually hate each other because they're one plays for, oh, this goes for my football, one plays for Celtic, one plays for Rangers. They all hate each. No, they don't. They're normal human beings off the
Yeah.
football pitch. Let's be real here. So why would we put it as that in hockey.
It's interesting because like I saw this clip online, and it was speaking about the football industry specifically and how you have so many players around the world. How many are openly gay?
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, it's impossible for them all to be straight.
Yeah,
But because
yeah.
of the fan base, the scrutiny that would be following them for their whole career, regardless of what club they're playing for. And I think it's really because I was speaking to someone about this and how if say their star player were to be gay, they'd almost have a grudge against them, not because of them being gay, but because the rival teams would use that as an insult. And I'm like, that's so insane to me to like perceive. And I understand it from this like heated rivalry, like it's a hockey team, and it's a very like violent sport. Like you know, you see the highlight clips online, fights on the ice and stuff, and
I think it's hilarious. Can't lie. I think it's so funny.
It's intense, but it's also kind of like one slip and it's
They all don't have like teeth.
yeah, literally. But like, I don't know. It's like the public perception of them being that these rivals, when in actuality they're just people, and I think that's like the most compelling. Like going into it, you're wanting that heated rivalry, the same as the fans of hockey. They're wanting to see Shane and Ilya's rivalry. But in actuality, behind closed doors, there's a lot more at play.
Yeah, and kind of like jumping off of that, I think the show does really well at balancing kind of 4 worlds, like one being sports, one being their private relationship, but then like the other 2 being their individual lives as people.
Absolutely.
Like in the moments where they're like separate, but also not on the ice, which I feel like it's either sex or playing a hockey game. And I was finished with that point.
Oh, you finished. I was just waiting on you finishing. I think another point of something that annoyed me, but this I always sound like I'm bashing on these books. I'm not. I did enjoy this book.
Sophie's a hater.
I hate her for life. One thing that really annoyed me with this book is, if you know me, I'm not like a love smart kind of gal. I like it demure. I like it classy. It should be sprinkled in there. Yeah, I'm mindful.
She's classy.
It should be sprinkled in there. And so when going into this book, straight away, the first like 10 chapters is just smut. It is the first 10 chapters.
It's not a good first read for people who aren't used to like.
Yeah, it is very
books.
intense. But then when you move on, if you push past those kind of 10 chapters and move on to the more plot line of the story of them like playing the games together and what are they going to do and the cabin and everything, it is lovely. It's a lovely story. The plot is very good. It is what you imagine the plot would be of this said book. But I think what would have made it easier to read, and maybe before Heated Rivalry came out as a TV show, I fear people probably would have put this book down 6 chapters in.
I mean, like I said, like it's even
how
quite
much smut there was.
intense for me to get through, because I was like, it's just a lot without a break. It's not even like necessarily because I thought it was graphic. I was just like,
there was nothing keeping the
sex.
story going. It was just reading smart. There was nothing keeping you engaged and the characters engaged in the storyline. So I think if I could have changed anything about the book, it would be making it. A lot of people do this with the books as like a kind of past and present kind of chapter flip about.
I remember you telling me that.
Because like all the smut is in the kind of in the past. Most of the smut in the first 10 chapters is in the past. It's to show their sexual history. But I think it would have been nice to see how they kind of develop in their history and their life together, and as a partnership. But I think it would have been nice to get the plot as well, like throughout that, so you're seeing what they're like now, but also how they got there.
Yeah, and I think it starts to get to that place, at least for me, like later in the books, like specifically the cabin scene, but then also like the bonus chapter at the end with like Hayden and whatever his wife's called. What's her name again?
Oh, I don't know.
Coming to dinner.
I wasn't there for a man and his wife.
Like Jackie. I know that. See them coming for that, because it's just, it feels like an actual real human relationship at that point. Like, and I just wish there was more. Granted, I get like, I'm not like I'm saying like in the show when you haven't seen it, there's all these like moments of like proper Because when they do meet, it is to have sex, and then they don't see
Mhm.
each other for weeks. But I think it's because you do see more them separate. And I also think
The
it's so interesting,
pining.
like being like a third person book, where it's always referring to the machine. And it's
Yeah.
never like you're seeing it like, oh yeah, I'm with Elia, or I can't wait to see Shane. I feel like that almost allows you to be able to show the, like, to like be able to show like what someone outside of that relationship would be viewing. Do you know what I mean?
I think it'd be because there's sequels to this, correct? Am I right in
Yes,
saying
and
that?
this was
Yes.
saying that
I'm
really.
really
We keep
kind of-
discussing it because I
interested.
keep forgetting. So there's like 7 books.
Yeah, but they're different people. I think there's 2
Yeah,
more.
The first
for
one
Shane
is
and Ilya.
the first
Yeah.
Because
one is
that's what's
Scott and Kat.
interesting to me. Because I'm interested to see. Obviously, it's very sex heavy,
Mhm.
smut heavy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, mostly what can
yeah.
what can I,
Apologies.
can we say on that?
But no, what's interesting to me is, as a writer, does Rachel Reid have the characters' development almost have their own honeymoon phase and have it end? Because in relationships, as they develop,
Yes.
So
you have this fiery start to it all, and
I've
it's
got-
going to be
I've
even
got
more because
Do
of
you-
like this forbidden
go.
love aspect.
yeah, well I know like so Shane and Elia have 2 books in the series,
Okay.
and then there's a new one coming out which is also them. So they'll have 3, and there's like 7 of them. So they're the like the majority.
Yeah.
But the first one is Scott and Kip,
Mhm.
who get mentioned. So Scott gets mentioned, and the guy who he kisses is Kip.
Okay.
He gets like that's their first book is entirely about them.
Okay.
And they do get an episode in the show,
Mm.
which I think people who had read before said that this one episode like perfectly encapsulates their entire like thing.
Oh,
I
really?
don't
Crazy.
I haven't read it, so I don't know if the ending to the book, because I know the books, I think they overlap
It
sometimes.
sounds like
'Cause
they would overlap.
I couldn't even follow the timeline of the show, like let alone the
Heated
book. I had no
Rivalry
idea what was
timeline
happening or where we
explained.
were. I had no idea how old we were at any points. So I don't know if their book ends with like Scott and him on the ice, like in this book, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Mm.
Which, in a weird way, I kind of hope it doesn't. Like I hope, like, because they break up for like a large period of time because of like Scott's career, and like, I would be more inclined to like read a series, like see if I like read a book
Mm-hmm.
and it ended with like them not being together but feeling like they had to be. Then I knew there was a second one. I just think that's like smart writing.
Mm-hmm.
So then, even though the second book's not about them, their conclusion is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, knowing that there was going to be another book, I felt almost dissatisfied that there wasn't an ending in this one.
It's not like a proper one.
There's not realistically, when you actually look from beginning to end of that book, they have not suffered many hardships realistically. Like they never fought like most romance books do. They not like they didn't read like they just didn't know how to be together publicly.
Mm.
I think one big moment is Shane coming out to his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally by the end, and they're like, "Yeah, we accept you. We thought maybe that was a possibility. Like,
Mhm.
just knowing you, we've known you your whole life. We thought this was a possibility that you could be coming out to us soon." And they were completely fine, shocked that it was Ilya. And they
Yeah.
went, "But
Because
you-"
that's kind of like the given consensus.
But
Because even with
that's a different thing.
Hayden's the one that like
yeah.
is like, oh,
But
is
then
it with Ilya?
even then, he did kind
And
of go,
that's
"You know
what's
what?
shocking
It's
about
not
it.
my life. It's yours. If you
Yeah.
like him like that, go for it." Knowing, because I read what the second book is about their story.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see more of that in that one.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff about
so
it as well.
The second, sorry,
I just got jump scared.
the second book focuses. Ilya feels that kind of stuff isn't enough for everything being so secretive.
Yeah.
Shane obviously has a very secretive upfront in front of all the public and everything like that. Ilya
Yeah.
starts internalizing that himself. I think that would have been a really good point to put out in this because that's a good thing to say.
I could argue though that we do at least, I think, get the seeds of that, and I think that that's like clear in like the like cottage chapters, but specifically in the like Hayden dinner like special chapter, because like Shane says something like, "I'm sick of this," and Ilya's like internal thing is like, "Oh, he's sick of me," And like I do think you start to get those little like.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like it could have been.
I would have liked more of that, like,
Yeah.
you know what, secret isn't enough, especially when you see
Yeah.
Scott outing himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know, this is not your chance to just jump on the wagon and be like, I'm also, but being like, you know what, I support Scott publicly.
Yeah.
I support him, because that should have been a good thing to kind of at least start off with that instead of just privately messaging him.
Yeah.
I think it should have been made
some of the
public
difference
that
in the show,
another person on a hockey team, a rivalry team, isn't threatened by this guy. They support him. They're like, you know what, he is who he is. That doesn't affect his hockey playing. So I think that, okay.
Not to play devil's advocate, but probably if they did that, then it would have came out that they were gay also, because of the industry of sports. If you came out and supported someone who, one of the only people who's ever came out as gay, being like, you know, I support them, they'd be like, well, why did you support them then? Like, there's then that interrogation of why have you all of a sudden now supporting someone? Do you mean, I do agree.
Like you weren't,
I
like
think
you weren't vocal.
yeah, you weren't vocal
yeah.
before, and why are you vocal now? And I do agree. I think it would have been nice to see, but then I'm like, but would that then just maybe not? It wouldn't have. It would have happened, but their fear.
Yeah.
Is the whole fear of this book, and the reason why they aren't public is because they don't want to be public. They don't want people to know that they are gay. So by doing that, people are going to know. Like everything they do is out of fear of being publicized. So I think if they did that, that's just another fear of that it's going to make our relationship public now. That's just my devil's advocate.
It's interesting, like the Scott stuff,
Yeah,
because like in the, unless I'm forgetting the how it's received, like in this book, like in the show, he's pretty like well, like supported across the board by like everybody. Like he doesn't say anything, which part of me was kind of like, but very unrealistic, I feel, unfortunately. But also, it's nice for a book. I don't need fucking everything to be like realistic. It's nice to have that little bit of like
it's meant to be an
escapism.
escape.
Because that's like the whole reason why they are like, Elia's brave enough to say yes to go to the cottage. Like, and I'm like, part of me was like, because you don't hear much about how Scott is received besides Shane saying, oh yeah, I emailed him. I was like, thanks, baby. I'm not gay, no homo, but that meant a lot. No homo though.
Yeah. I think the privacy aspect of it almost kind of tells Scott more than if you were just out. If someone goes, what was your thoughts about this? And you go, I don't give it.
I mean, if you watch the show, Scott be making like little comments and digs as well, like to them, like through like every single time he's featured in it, because he's featured quite a lot, and he has a whole episode dedicated to him. Then he's featured like sporadically throughout, and he always be making little digs.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, because like they'll be beefing, and then Scott will be like, like, and like at one point
his gaze are literally through the roof.
He's like, he gets in a fight with Shane on the ice because Shane makes like a jokey wee dig, and he's like, "You're starting to sound like him, man." And then he's like, "What?" And they're like proper scrapping each other on the ice.
Jinx.
So, yeah, it's definitely, I think, for like, it's kind of one of those like, I think it's funny because like, they're not very good at hiding it. Like, apart from the because like as we said, apart from the preconception that people have just because they were really great hockey players who started at the same time, so they have to hate each other. Like, what else happens that like hides the fact that they wouldn't at least get along?
Yeah, like there isn't anything
makes
that's like
sense.
in the book that like shows how they act in public of hating each other in public, other than the few digs on camera being like, oh well, I'm going to beat him tonight.
Like, it's like never even deep stuff, and a lot of the digs are like Rosanov, Loki, like because he is flirting with them. He flirts through like making jokes and picking on people. Me too. Like so, like it's like because I know fine well if I was sat in that room and two men were speaking to each other, I'm like, oh, they're on the DL, and like I know that for a fact. But maybe that's just because Scott was also gay, so and that's maybe why. But
people can just be.
Back to the podcast. So, is there any other kind of point or thought, opinion about the book? anyone else has that we've not touched on?
I just really liked it because it subverted a lot of my expectations for what I was in for. I think previously when I've read any form of romance, you get your standard tropes that they can follow.
Continue.
I'm so sorry. It's like a flashback.
I'm so scared of what.
Me falling for
I thought you were like something I had done.
No.
No,
Right.
that's good.
I'm just
Sorry, Kyle, you were saying.
No, whenever I read,
Right, do you need to step out for 5 minutes?
y'all knew what you were getting when you asked me on this
Do you know what?
podcast.
You've done really well.
funny.
Human
You've
and
done really well.
hijinks.
that's so
Humor and
good.
hijinks.
Yeah. Whenever I read romance, there's certain tropes that they sort of abide by, and you go into it being like, oh, what trope is this book going to follow? And I think this done a really good job at subverting those expectations. You have a book called Heated Rivalry. You're assuming it's going to be enemies to lovers, when in actuality, it's a forbidden love story. It was really interesting to me because I think, like I touched on it previously about like the sports side of it. You mentioned that, they weren't hiding it very well. I think general fans of hockey would think in terms of a player that wouldn't even pop into their head. It would almost be like they're denying that aspect of thought, like that avenue of thought, because they're like, well, being the number one hockey player would be the most important thing to someone that's a competitive hockey player. Why would they have anything else in their mind?
Yeah.
These people are rivals. They're just as good as each other. They're like similar age bracket. They're like rival. They are rivals.
Yeah.
The media is portraying them as rivals. Why would anything else be more important to them than being number one?
I think that's one
And
thing I
that's-
really liked, that they
Yeah.
weren't letting each other win, or they weren't
Yeah.
they weren't
Yeah.
taking turns on who
I mean, that's like
won
one of the
game.
first
Like, they
things you and I
There's
asked.
genuinely
something
were.
She was like, have you ever let him win? And he's like, I would rather
Yeah.
die.
And I
Like-
think that was such like a, you know what, okay, that's the rivalry.
Yeah,
That's the teeny tiny rivalry. I actually see that on the ice there's nothing
exactly.
but the game that matters. Like, obviously,
It's a
they
very
care about each
friendly
other.
rival.
What?
I
What?
thought you said there's nothing but the gay that matters.
There's nothing. There ain't nothing but the gay that
Game.
matters.
Game.
Oh, that's funny.
There's nothing but God and the homosexuals.
Yep, that's good.
Right, is that a wrap on our
I think so.
thoughts?
I think we get to our
opinions on
ratings out of
Heated
5
Rivalry?
stars.
Oh, can we rate out of 5 like hockey sticks or something?
Yeah, I'm rating it out of
5
5 shower rooms.
5 shower room set. 5. What's
Yeah.
like a good hockey stick? 5
Pucks.
loons.
Pucks.
Oh, one real quick thing. That's what I wanted to say. One thing that I did prefer in the book. I said this to Ella. The scene where Ilya talks about his mum. He just like I think it's done both very well, and both again like I feel like as actors we also. It's interesting because we know there's different avenues to talk tackle certain things with performance and things like that. But like he gets like more emotional like in the book than he does like in the show, and I just kind of like
Does he
preferred that take a little bit,
do
just as a personal preference.
The Russian chat to Shane in the show.
Yes.
Okay.
And he does it in Russian, and that's what he gets like properly.
What?
He does it in Russian
Yeah.
because in the book it's in English. Well, it's in Russian, but like it's written in English.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I thought.
Oh,
That's what I mean.
I'm
Did he do-
pretty.
That's
yeah.
why I was like, I just asked, did he do it in the Russian chat? And you went, yeah, in Russian. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
And I
Got
think
it.
that's basically like the same. I don't think there's anything different.
Yeah.
Like in terms of what he says, I think it's all basically the same. He does says I love you, that's the important part.
Great. So
Right,
we're gonna
On
rate
to
it
our rating.
out of
I love
5.
bear tattoos. Because there's no bear tattoos in the show. Thank God, because I couldn't take that seriously.
We're just gonna rate it out of 5.
Ah,
5, whatever Kyle decides to put as a sticker. Yeah. Okay. So, who wants to start? We'll go down the line. Kyle, you can start. I need to see. I
Oh,
don't know
I'm
what I rated
first.
it.
Okay, I'll I normally bounce back and forth between a couple of numbers, but I was pretty set on this one for me. I'm gonna stick with a 3.5.
Ross.
Me. I think despite some of the points I think I've like shared, I'm actually going to say like a good 4.
Valid.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I rated it 3 stars.
I would say 3 as well. I think you and I have very similar opinions on the book this time. I think I would have liked more plot expansion. And yeah, I see the potential where it could be expanded on. So 3.
I do wonder if that the reason why there wasn't plot expansion was because I think she, like I said, this is like the only one that existed in the series before the show that already had 2. So like, how much was she already planning on writing them?
What does that average out to then?
I think it's that sketchy thing though. Not sketchy,
a 4,
but
a
like
3.5 and a 3. Would that not just be like 3.5?
3.5.
Yeah.
It's that aspect of it's like this is book 2, and I don't think they come back till book 6 or something. It's quite,
there's
it's
like a
big
gap
jump.
in between.
So like you do kind of go, well, did you actually want to continue their story,
Yeah.
or was it people really like this one out?
Oh, was that one just received well when?
Like that's my question. It's like, is it just a cash grab because that's the one that did really well so far, and we'll bring them back because everyone wants to know what happens now, you know? That's the one question, because it is a big jump. It's not like their own character story kind of aspect. Whereas if you, like, for example, Bridgerton series, just because that's also been made into like Netflix show and everything like that, each book is one couple. You don't actually see any other characters like stories branch off until it's their book. But the series have gone and integrated a bunch of them together.
Interesting.
So, that's the kind of thing that I think she kind of went back into it because that one did really well.
Well, apparently in this universe, I'm pretty sure every book, at least one of the people is a hockey player.
Yeah.
So
because it's not
according to Rachel, that's a gay game. Game Changers series.
Game Changers.
But it could be like a football player, soccer player.
She's a hockey fan.
Fair enough. I mean, I would be very interested in, like, I think it's the 3rd book. It's like a pop star and a hockey player, and that just feels on brand for me.
That one I was like, actually would
That's
read that. That sounds quite good.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, we go to a quick thing for the edit. Liability Library rates this as a 3.5 stars. Stamp.
And the show is a 5.
Yes.
I've not watched the show.
Watch the show. It's so good.
Yeah.
The show is phenomenal. Like,
I've heard good
Actors are
stuff
very
about the show.
talented.
the actors are insane.
Yeah, they're very talented.
And hot. So.
Well, yeah, but like that's not like objectifying to that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, things
so
have a little
much
eye
more.
candy.
There's like not a shit actor in it. It's like crazy.
everyone's
like everyone
super
is
talented.
phenomenal in that show.
Yeah, I do think I should watch it now that I've read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about that another month.
Great.
Okay, so for next month's book, we decided we haven't taken any reader suggestions, audience suggestions this month like we did Heated Rivalry. So we have picked the theme of McFadden March. So we're going to pick a Frida McFadden book. We've each picked a Frida McFadden book. We've just picked one each. We've popped it in our spin wheel, and the spin wheel will decide. So, Ella, what book did you pick?
I picked The Inmate.
Kyle?
The Devil Wears Scrubs.
Can we edit? Can we edit that out?
Yeah, is that going to pick up?
The Devil Wears Scrubs.
Thank you. And I picked Never Lie. So I'm just gonna record this.
Can I share a preference?
Can I
before-
also
can I, like,
please make sure that everybody still knows Sophie's choice has never been picked?
Not
Yeah,
like
that's
not like I don't
hilarious.
want to like suggest one. I just really like the sound of the Devil Wears Scrubs.
Ross, would you
'Cause
want to
I've
spin?
Can I spin it?
Yeah.
Do I show the camera?
We're just gonna
I'm very
Okay.
interested to see if Sophie's book doesn't get
not
picked
Sophie's,
again.
not Sophie's, not Sophie's.
Well,
I win again.
There we go.
How
God.
many have I won now?
God damn it.
Say it again, Sophie. How many have I won?
Is it 4? 3?
I know.
So
I-
many.
The important
I
thing
did-
is you've had none.
What? 1984 War Horse, Holiday Ever After,
no.
and now this.
Jesus.
So I won
Yeah.
November, December, January, March.
Goddamn.
I started this thing. This is my idea,
Do you know what
and
we need
there
to
has
get for
never been picked in my book.
Can you please for next like one get like just a photo of like Frida's bob and put that there rather than like a
Yeah.
book? Because that was my suggestion. I was like, do y'all do this?
Because
make
sometimes
it,
like I've got it on my Kindle and stuff.
Yeah.
Ah,
I
but-
normally
I
have
do
a
quite like
paperback.
this,
but
and we
but
might
like
steal this
Frida,
idea.
Frida's Bob though.
Frida's
Yeah.
Bob. We'll get a
Frame
wee
full,
picture, a
Frida's
wee full
Bob.
frame.
Well, that's what you could do. You could do like because that's that'd be so cute. Get props.
Mm.
You've got the book and then like something that represents
the
the book.
budget,
So
Yeah.
Frida McFly, whatever the inmate, and then Frida's Bob. So a wig.
Excellent.
You can come
I'm just
back
being a
if you sit with
uniform,
the bob on your
jail
head
uniform.
at the very
And I
front
could just
the
sit.
whole
And I could just
time.
sit.
You don't get to say anything. You just sit and you
I
make
just sit with a bob.
faces. You can
I just-
you can stay. The audience will love it.
That's so funny.
You have to get the smirk.
Right, is that
I
us?
can't get over Sylvie's lost again.
No, what is this tomfoolery?
I can't go with that. I
Tom.
fucking broke the chair.
Okay, so thank you for watching and or listening to our podcast for March. No, February.
People listening hearing me fall off the chairs.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
Crazy.
they're gonna think something happened, like a bomb fell.
Yes, okay, so thank you for listening or watching for our February episode on Heated Rivalry. See you next time.
Goodbye.